Hey everyone, it's Alex, the real Mr. Robinson here, so I'm here to talk more about Black Panther. This is not specifically a spoiler review because I just wanted to talk about the movie again, but we'll be talking about some slight spoilers here and there, but it's a video that's not solely dedicated to spoilers. What it is dedicated to, however, is you guys, pretty much. So for this video, and many other videos in the future, I've partnered up with the amazing people over at the Stardust app. If you don't know what the Stardust app is, basically it's this app that came out last summer that I've been a part of for a while. It allows you to do quick movie reactions, or TV shows, movie trailers. If you're a big movie buff like me, or you watch a lot of TV on Netflix, or wherever you watch TV, and you want to get your opinions out, but you don't really want to put the effort into actually writing a review or sitting in front of a camera like I'm doing and recording your review, you could just pull up your phone, go to the App Store, whichever app store you have on your phone, download the Stardust app, and this allows you to give out 30-second reactions to a movie, a TV show, trailer. It's quick, it's straight to the point, kind of like Snapchat or Instagram video, except unlike Snapchat, this stays on your account permanently unless you actually go out there and delete the video. So it's a fantastic app. I've been using it for a while and really using it to review things that I wouldn't have the time to do on YouTube, because I do watch a couple of TV shows here and there, but I don't have the time to actually review TV shows. And even if I do review TV shows on YouTube, like I did with Stranger Things, Stardust is a great way for me to review every individual episode. That way you get 30-second reviews of each episode, and it's also a great way for me to voice my opinions on trailers, because I used to do trailer reviews, but I've kind of backed off from that. Stardust is a fantastic tool all around, and many of your favorite personalities within the YouTube movie review community are a part of the Stardust app, like Jeremy Johns, John the Flick Pick, Alicia Malone, the Schmoes, some of the people over at Double Toasted, like Corey Coleman, Patrick Gertz, and Corey Goodwin. In fact, I first heard about this app from Clark Wolf, because she was getting on it to do movie reviews herself, and ever since I joined Stardust, I've been hooked on it completely. And one thing that's really helpful for people like me that have a big following on YouTube, or anyone else in the movie review community on YouTube, is that we get to interact a lot more with you guys because of your reactions on Stardust. So if you want the chance to have your reactions featured on some of my future videos, go ahead and download the Stardust app, create an account, go ahead and follow me at RealMrRobinson, and whenever you put up reactions to your reviews, go ahead and tag me, that way I can see them, and then I can feature you in the next Stardust related video that I do. Or you can go to the link down below, stardust.app.link/RealMrRobinson. Go ahead, join the Stardust app, create an account, follow me, I'll follow you back, and tell the people over at Stardust that I sent you there. They will greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to be taking a couple of my favorite Stardust reactions to Black Panther and kind of talking off of them to kind of go into detail about the stuff that I couldn't say, or things that I just didn't say beforehand that I could have said in my review but forgot completely. So without further ado, let's start off with the first reaction, which is from the epic voice guy, John Bailey.
A fantastic standalone film. It just doesn't tie into the MCU as much as I would have liked, other than what we know from Civil War and the after-credit scene. But a great standalone film. It's got a great cast, great action. It's a little pacing issues, and Michael B. Jordan phoned it in a couple times, but overall, best villain in a long time. And the rest of the cast, fantastic. A lackluster Stan Lee cameo, but hey, you've got Claw and Coulson 2.0, who are both in Lord of the Rings, so I guess you have your two Tolkien white guys. Hey!
There you go. There's a pun right there. So one thing that the epic voice guy John Bailey mentioned is that there is not an abundance of Marvel Cinematic Universe connections to other movies outside of Civil War. I didn't really think this movie could have benefited from other connections. It would have felt incredibly shoehorned in, because Civil War is the only movie that's really relevant to going back to with Black Panther, because Wakanda is pretty secluded. As they say in the movie, it's pretty much hidden from the rest of the world, and nobody else knows that it's the most technologically advanced nation ever. So I have no idea what other movies they could have referenced without it coming across as just cheesy or inorganic. I guess the only other movie that could have been excusable to reference and go clean with it is Age of Ultron, because Andy Serkis was in Age of Ultron as Claw. He had a whole amount of vibranium, and Ultron did steal all that vibranium to lift Sokovia out of the earth. I actually do like in Black Panther they do kind of acknowledge this little moment. I forget exactly what the moment is. I haven't seen the movie a second time yet, so I really want to. But I do remember them kind of addressing it. And in terms of the Stan Lee cameo, he's basically in a casino in Korea, South Korea, and T'Challa leaves this sum of money on the table, leaves, and then Stan Lee comes in, takes the money and kind of the winnings. So Stan Lee benefited off T'Challa in a way. So, I mean, that was amusing, which I gotta say, between this and Age of Ultron, I am betting that South Korea, within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, hate superheroes because they keep ending up in South Korea and having these extravagant action scenes there. So I guess South Korea, in universe only, must be pissed off. Alright, next up is a reaction from one of my favorite YouTube channels that I just discovered last year, and two people that I would like to meet at some point. Robert and Vanessa from Late to the Party.
Music was amazing. Everything was amazing. Not just the music. Every character, every actor, every set piece, every action scene.
All the technology, so good. Even like the jokes too is very subtle with the jokes, but they nailed it with the jokes. Like not too much, but just enough that you're like, this is awesome.
It definitely was awesome. Ryan Coogler, you did a great job. Everybody involved in this film did an awesome job. We can't wait to see what's next.
One thing in that reaction that really stood out to me was when Vanessa was talking about the humor. In my original review, I mentioned that the humor for Black Panther very much is similar to that of Winter Soldier, Civil War, and I imagine what the humor is going to be like in Infinity War and whatever the fourth Avengers is going to be. I will say that there were bits of comedy that did work for me, but then some of it was kind of cringeworthy. Not as cringeworthy as Thor: The Dark World, like, that movie has the absolute worst comedy ever, and thankfully this one has no Darcy, but this is probably the first MCU movie that I've seen that actually has a pun, and not only that, it's a pun that sticks out like a sore thumb. In this fashion. So the scene involves T'Challa and his sister Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, who is one of my favorite characters in this whole movie. She is pretty much the cue to T'Challa's James Bond, and I imagine her intelligence and just how inventive she is, quite literally, could rival Tony Stark. But anyway, she makes modifications to the Black Panther suit, and one of those modifications is to make the shoes a little more quiet, and the joke in the movie is that she says, I call them sneakers, and the way it's played out, it's one of these points where she pauses just to really brace herself for the horrible pun that's about to come, and then she says it. It's like, I call them sneakers, and I don't remember many people laughing at that joke, and if they were laughing in a more uncomfortable fashion. If anything, most of the laughs that I got from Black Panther were from audience reactions, because everyone was just so into this movie. Again, I'm going to see the movie a second time, and I still absolutely love the movie, but really thinking back on the comedy with only one viewing, it's not their strongest, but you know what? The characters and the story are just so damn good that it's not a huge flaw at all. So the next reaction I'm going to play is somebody who is a super Starduster, which is pretty much the term for the most popular Stardusters out there. I'm included in that rank, and this is from Dawn Erickson.
Panther was my favorite part of Civil War, so I've really been looking forward to this movie, and it was beautiful. So well put together, hilarious, amazing cast. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is incredible, and so many just fantastic, powerful, strong women. It's awesome to see. But look, here's the deal. This is a character that's meant a lot to a lot of people, and I don't feel like I'm the one to properly articulate any of that. All I can do is kneel before the king.
One of the big things that everybody has gone on about is how great the women are in this movie. Lupita Nyong'o, Lolita Wright, and Dania Gurira. I hope I pronounced that name correctly, but apparently she's on The Walking Dead, but in Black Panther she plays the head of the special forces for Wakanda. You know, Wakanda forever! Wow, it just didn't really feel right when I did it. But anyway, yeah, all the female characters in this movie, I think I've said my piece about them. They are just fantastic. Each of them have their defining moments that makes them really three-dimensional characters and not just strong women for the sake of being strong women. And they do end up stealing this show from T'Challa at points. But again, it's not Chadwick Boseman's fault at all because we already got to know T'Challa in Civil War. It's just the fact that we're getting to know these new characters and they are just as interesting. And also, Dawn stated something that's very important and kind of a recurring theme about how impactful this movie has been. It's that a lot of other people are identifying with Black Panther in a very powerful way. And this is going to lead into my next Stardust reaction from Christina, or Kinetic Fox.
I finished that spoiler-free review. I had just started crying again because I started thinking about the actual line. I was talking to my husband about it, and just the fact that Killmonger, when he says, you know, bury me out in the ocean with my brothers and sisters, you know, they rather have, you know, been put to death than bondage, and that fucking hit me in the heart so hard.
So a lot of the positive reception for this movie, outside the fact that it's a great movie all around, is how many people are really identifying with the characters and just what it means to them. And if we're getting into spoiler realms, one of the great things about the end of the movie, with Killmonger's end pretty much, is he's defeated, he's dying, but it's kind of like when Black Panther and Zemo have this little conversation at the end of Civil War, where Killmonger is just looking out at the beautiful Wakanda sunset. They're both just next to each other having a small talk, and Killmonger just states that he would rather be buried in the ocean rather than kind of be a slave, because that's how African Americans were treated. And Wakanda is a nation that really didn't go through that because they've been pretty much isolated themselves. I'm probably getting this all wrong, which kind of goes to show how more important T'Challa and this movie is to other people than me. I mean, I'm looking at it as a great superhero movie all around, and I love the character of T'Challa just for how cool he is, how he's the richest superhero ever, it's just a cool character all around, but I know it means a hell of a lot to other people. I'm going to wrap up with my final Stardust reaction that comes from Corey Coleman himself over at Double Toasted. Now, Double Toasted actually did a Stardust Black Panther video on their channel, and my reaction was actually featured on there, so hey, I figured to return the favor and feature Double Toasted's reaction.
Wakanda! Sorry, scared my wife over there. I'm sorry, baby. Talking about Black Panther, it's a great superhero movie, but it's also a great movie about a king who handles himself with nobility under pressure. Michael B. Jordan is great as the villain Killmonger. I hope he comes back and him and Loki go on a road trip together. The only bad thing I could probably say about the movie is the special effects, but this takes superhero movies to a higher level and a higher standard. I am telling you to go see the movie. I'm going to go see it again for the 4th time. I can't wait.
And I've still only seen the movie once, but let's talk about T'Challa for a second and Chadwick Boseman's performance, because Corey mentioned that it's a great movie about a king who basically is very calm and collective with all the pressures that's going on, and that's what I found really cool about T'Challa himself. And when you look back on him in Civil War, he was very anxious, he was very aggressive, he was vengeful pretty much because he accused Bucky of killing his father. And then at the end of the movie, when he finds out that it was Zemo, and he has a conversation with Zemo on why he's done it, he pretty much transforms as a character. He makes that transition to where you can see him becoming king of Wakanda. And in this movie, he's pretty much taken what he's learned from the Civil War and applied it to his methods of being king, where he's very calm, he's very collective, and he never once loses his cool throughout this whole movie. And it just really goes into why I love this character so much. One of the best characters that Marvel has ever created. And final words, the special effects really are pretty bad. I mentioned them in my original review, so I won't go through that all again here, but yeah, they're pretty bad. And that pretty much does it for this video. I can't wait to see Black Panther again for myself. I want to thank the people over at Stardust, particularly Jake, for allowing me to do this partnership in the first place. And I also want to thank both Jake and Christine for helping me get my name out there within the Stardust community and becoming a super Starduster. Again, go ahead, download the Stardust app, create an account, follow me, I'll follow you back feedback or go to the link below, stardust.app.link /TheRealMrRobinson. And yeah, go ahead, tag me in your future reactions and I'll possibly put them in a future video. And until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on Black Panther and just all the other stuff that I pointed out in this video. And as always, this is the Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.